talking to Kerr Hatrick of Deutsche Bank, and you gave a keynote presentation at the MATLAB Computational Finance event today, where you looked at different visualization techniques that examine volatility and spreads and quote changes in equity markets in both Europe and also in Asia. And you specifically looked at this question about whether high frequency trading is a good or bad thing for the market. What did some of your analysis discover?
I suppose the key thing that the visualizations show, right, is that it is very difficult. It's basically it's very difficult to justify the idea that higher frequency trading is bad for the market, right? We've seen a number of examples today, specifically Japan, but also in the UK, in which we see when there are significant changes in higher frequency trading, right, that the typical intraday volatility decreases, right? That's an important thing for us, and also spreads, right? Now, measuring increases or decreases in higher frequency trading is always a little bit controversial, right? But what we have done is, hopefully in an open manner, right, looked at the market, data that everybody can see, and the key thing that we have done is to link the idea of increased numbers of quote changes, right, to the idea that there are more higher frequency people in the market. And so I think we've got a relatively decent, one of the few objective measures that I can think of, a measure of how much high frequency is actually happening in the market. And what the animations seem to show is that macro events, we have these little news tickers that are happening as the animation proceeds, have a much larger effect than any higher frequency or automated trading that seems to be happening in the market on volatility and on spread.
I mean, you showed a specific chart which looked at the introduction of automated trading in Japan. What did that show you?
What this shows specifically is a dramatic change in the trading environment in Japan that many people would not even be aware of. But it's been a huge change, a change brought about by the Arrowhead system, which the TSE put in. Now, it's kind of hard for people in Europe to point to one point in time or another that says, yes, lots of high frequency trading started at this particular point. But of course, if you're blessed with a technical change that happen, you can look at things happening around that time, and that is what we have done. And you will be able to see in one of these animations that the typical volatility that is associated with trading, right, does not increase uniformly after higher frequency trading starts. It decreases significantly, right? If you look at the actual distributions, which we don't show in our animations, you see that there is a decrease typically in the volatility that you see. Of course, things come and go as macro events shock markets. But in general, this assertion that higher frequency trading makes things more difficult to trade in terms of both spread and in terms of the volatility that you typically see, it is not borne out by the changes, at least in Japan.
You made a point at the beginning of your speech about the importance of the MATLAB community. How much benefit does that bring to your job at Deutsche Bank?
The MATLAB community is perhaps the biggest mathematical community that I have participated in. I've communicated with people with Mathematica, the same with R. Right? I've used a variety of languages, but MATLAB has this MathSource website, which is a terrific source of code for us. It makes our lives so much simpler, right? And I think perhaps because MATLAB is so well established with a number of universities, you're able to get really leading edge and cool techniques almost hot off the press, in a way that you would not be able to do with a number of the other systems that are out there. So the MATLAB community is is an open-spirited thing, and it's great to be able to contribute as well as to take things from it. So we're hoping that some of our visualization methods, specifically with respect to the point cloud that MATLAB has been helping us with, will find their way onto that site so that other people can share from them as well.
Thank you very much.